This video we're going to be talking about my 3,000 mile UP Michigan trip from Virginia through Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, and finally back home to Virginia. So it was August 2021 and leave Virginia, go to Pittsburgh for my sister's wedding, had a great time there, continue from there, go through Ohio, meet up with some friends in Auburn Hills, Michigan from college. We go fishing, have a lot of fun. I leave there and start my actual trip where I'm alone. Fun. So I start heading north towards Saginaw, Michigan in the mitten, about here, and then start going west over to, what town was it? Don't know. Cool. Well, anyway, I go camping at I'm going to butcher the names just so you're aware, Manistee National Forest. I camped there for just the night, cooked some hot dogs, and then I planned to continue. Wake up, battery's dead. And I mean dead. I try starting it, push starting, popping the clutch, all that. Can't even roll the car, basically. Take out my OBD2, plug it in. It says the battery's got 6 volts. Yeah, it's dead. It ain't starting. Call up a local mechanic to that area. They recommend a towing company, Fire's Towing. Thank you to them. And Steve's Tire and Automotive Service. Thanks to them as well, who got me back on the road with a brand new battery. And thanks for AAA for reimbursing me for the tow bill. I leave there probably around noonish, go up to Traverse City, and then work my way back around to the tip at Mackinac City, at the Mackinac Bridge. And while I'm up there, there's a AAA. Yeah, I kind of roll up 5 minutes after they close because I wanted a paper map in case I don't have service and can't find anything. So, and I'm pretty sure at this point it's the weekend, so they're not going to be open. And I wasn't staying in the area long enough. So I leave there, I camp for the night, continue on my route because I know vaguely where I'm going. Pull off into the visitor center, cross the Mackinac Bridge, and and the visitor center, of course, because it's still pandemic times, it's only open like 3 days out of the week. And of course, it's the day prior to me being there. So they luckily had like a motorcycle booklet, which had sections of the UP up there with road maps. So I was like, perfect, this'll do. I'll make do with it in case I don't have service. So I continue. So I leave. And when you cross over into the UP, you have to go to, what's it called? I lost it. There it is. The Fish Market Inc. It's next to, I believe, either Dollar General or Family Dollar or something like that. There's also a supermarket. But you gotta go check them out. They got these great fish sausages. I go with the Cajun one. Really good. Great snack. But I leave there. I go to, I'm also going to butcher this name, Toquamanon National Forest to go look at the falls, which were really cool. They have the lower falls and then the upper falls. I'm pretty sure it's the upper falls. The lower falls are older than the upper falls due to tectonic plates, but the upper falls are bigger than the lower falls, if I'm correct. Somebody can correct me, obviously. This is year-old technology, year-old memory. So I leave there, I go to camp in the Hiawatha National Forest on this great crystal clear lake. Wish I really had a canoe, just go out there, paddle around. Like I was ready to just see a moose just like chilling in the water. But so I go out, I got this new telescopic lens that can really zoom in. I take a picture of the lake, I zoom in, take a picture of this house, and then after the trip I get home and I realize if you zoom in a little further, there's 2 swans just chilling there, which I found really cool. So I stay there for 2 nights. The following day, after the first night, I go up to, once again, I'm going to butcher the name, I'm going to just say Grand Maris, but it's definitely wrong pronunciation. But then I drive through Pictured Rocks on Lake Superior, which there's this one lake on the one side. Very interesting colors. It's like brown water. It's the best way I could describe it, but like really beautiful. And Lake Superior, some of the most crystal clear water I've ever seen, and also some of the coldest. While I was on that trip, I actually saw a man panning for gold on one of the rivers that goes into Lake Superior, and I also saw 2 miniature landslides. I just heard a crack, looked up, and sand's coming down off one of the dunes. Cool, little scary, but cool, because in the meantime, children are running up that side of the sand dune. And on that whole trip through Pictured Rocks, I go to every waterfall and sand dune and any sort of trail they've got there that I can do. Basically just try to take in as much as I can in the short amount of time I'm just kind of traveling across the UP. Get back down, go to my campsite. Same one luckily was there. It's kind of first come, first serve, no fee, really nice. I use Campendium, it's an app, and just filter it to free campsites. Cool. So I leave the campsite in the morning, I drive through Marquette, up into Copper Harbor, which is basically the furthest point north in Michigan you can go without hopping on a ferry and going up to Isle Royale, which is really up there. It's basically Canada at that point. So, go up there, really cool. I leave, drive through Wisconsin, stop in, once again I'm gonna butcher the name, Ogema, Wisconsin? And they had a really cool system. It was like a playground, but also a campground at the same time. You kind of just like camp in an open area. Like they have like set areas for each one. They have your own like fire pit and all that. Really nice. Got stung by a wasp trying to use their restroom. And then they have a donation box, so you leave a donation. That's your way of paying for the campsite. So I did that, really cool. I leave Wisconsin, go down towards Milwaukee, but not to go to Milwaukee, but that direction, and then over to Chicago. I drive past the Home Alone house, which when I saw it, I couldn't picture the movie. It was kind of depressing. Left that one, went to the Ferris Bueller house, which is a lot cooler and kind of wish I owned. See that Ferrari, California? It wasn't in the abyss. Then I went to Lincoln Park Zoo in Central Park. Lots of cool animals, as always. Who doesn't love a zoo? Left Chicago, did like kind of a day trip, just like normal touristy stuff, just walk around, see the bean and all that. Then I went to the Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore on Lake Michigan, which I didn't know Indiana had dunes. I knew Michigan did, but that was also partly because of the Chicago fire. History fact. When the Chicago fire happened and the Bunsen burner burned down the whole city, all the lumber came from Michigan. Now that there's no forest in Michigan, it kind of just turned into sand dunes. Interesting story. Leave there, drive through Indianapolis to Heltonville, Indiana, to camp, which supposedly was more for like horseback riding camping, not just camping. But anyway, I just drove up, parked for the night. It was middle of the night. I slept in my car, just to get on the road again the following day. Drove through Louisville, Kentucky, towards Lexington and Charleston, West Virginia. Some point in that trip, a huge thunderstorm, and my from all the vibrations of my drive shaft being bad, the hitch receiver, the little D-ring shackle, yeah, that came off and kind of disappeared, never to be seen again. So I bought a replacement, as you can sort of see to your left of the screen. I noticed that when I stopped for gas, kind of was sad. But anyway, I'm now about like 2 hours from my house in Virginia, and that's when the drive shaft gets really bad at vibrations. Like usually like 70 miles an hour, it's vibrating, like you could feel it throughout the car, but it's not unbearable. Like you go 75, it's unbearable, but 70, comfortable. At the end of this trip, I drove through 10 states: Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, I guess 9 states, and Virginia. Oh no, Maryland. We had to kind of cut across to Maryland. That weird part that sticks into West Virginia. And over 3,000 miles, probably closer to like 3,500 miles. With all the like back and forth and just like going around and sightseeing and all that. Totally worth the trip. Would love to go back. Lake Superior is absolutely beautiful. The rocks there are so gorgeous. The cliffs that they've got, really cool. Only downside, those black flies. Doesn't matter what you do, kind of just gotta accept it. That's why you go late summer. If you go in like June, which I did the year prior with my parents, when they first gave me this car as a replacement to my old car that was destroyed by some teenager who backed over a snowbank. We went up there, they were absolutely terrible in June. Water was ice cold, really cool though. That's what made me want to go back. I was there for probably like a weekend. Totally wanted to go back and do this trip, and I would love to do this trip again. But next time we might go up into New England towards Mount Washington and hike that. But thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this experience as much as I did. And I'll see you in the next one.